Hey guys, I am here with your mid-year pick-me-up encouragement. I have a few things that I have been thinking on in terms of the fact that it's the beginning of July. We're here. For those of us in the Midwest, it's like that midsummer, like, oh my gosh, summer is going so fast. And for those of you in the South, you're already like, okay, school starts in a month. Let's get things going and, start preparing. Friends of mine are sending their daughter back to college in a few weeks. And that just brings with it a whole other load of emotions and feelings. So I want to just come on here and share some things that I hope will be beneficial. But before that, if you are new to me, I am Danielle Roberts. I'm a certified life coach, business coach for Christian business owning moms. I've had a business for the last 11 years, and I love encouraging women to follow after what God has given them, to steward what God has given them, and use it for His glory. Walk in the path that He has put before us and do it well so we can thrive in our homes and businesses. So if you're new to me, thank you for joining me today and watching my video. All right, things that I've been thinking of. Honoring your season. So I was doing a podcast with my friend Melissa a couple months ago, maybe a year ago, actually. We were talking about seasons of life. If you feel like you're not sure what your season of life is, that's okay. There are many different seasons of life. And I think as we examine where we're at, how some of the questions I'll have further down the road with us, it might help to understand where you're at. One of the things that's easy to say is, oh, I'm in a season of motherhood that the kids have sports. We're running all the time. I feel like we have a lot of appointments. Or, maybe you're that parent that sent their kids off to college already, and you're like, okay, well, we're kind of in that empty nester stage. Or completely reverse. Maybe you are a new parent, new mom, and you are trying to get your footing, and you're like, okay, I'm trying to figure this out, but how do I do this? Wherever you are at, that's something to think through. So your parenting and your stage of motherhood impacts your business. I will not lie to you and tell you that your mothering and your home have nothing to do with your business, because they absolutely do. We are, in terms of what somebody put it, we have spaghetti brains. So as women, God has given us the wonderful ability to think about multiple things at multiple times, and all our thoughts kind of blend together as spaghetti. Men, on the other hand, have waffle brains. So their brains are very segmented. They're able to say, okay, I'm going to focus on work now, and segment. I think some do that more than others, but in the terms of it, I really liked how that person had put that, because it does seem like our husbands kind of have that ability to just check out and be be focused on that versus other things. As such, it helps to understand. That's what I'm saying. The season of life that we're in, whether it's our home, our business, or motherhood, because our businesses have seasons. For businesses have us. They don't have mothers. Our businesses have seasons. Goodness. Our businesses also have seasons. And whether we are in a season of push where we are working on getting new clients, we're in a season of sustaining where we're just doing what we need to do, or if we're more in a season of pulling back and doing the least we need to do so that we can do the other things in life, that helps to know where you're at as well. Ecclesiastes 3 came to my mind this morning, and I'm just going to read it for you. So it says, "For everything there is a season and a time for every matter under heaven, a time to be born and a time to die, a time to plant and a time to pluck up what was planted, a time to kill and a time to heal, a time to break down and a time to build up, a time to weep and a time to laugh, a time to mourn and a time to dance, a time to cast away stones and a time to gather stones together, a time to embrace and a time to refrain from embracing, a time to seek and a time to lose, a time to keep and a time to cast away, a time to tear and a time to sow, a time to keep silent and a time to speak, a time to love and a time to hate, a time for war and a time for peace." I think it's such a great reminder when we understand that life has seasons, right? We're not going to always be in the same season, whether that's with the weather seasons or the seasons of the year, our personal seasons, what we're going through in life. There are different times for everything. So having that understanding and honoring that. So honoring where we're at, what we are doing, how we're doing it. If I am in a season of push in my business where I am working on getting clients, I have an open cart, or I have a launch, that's not the time to decide that I'm going to host 5 different family events and have 40 people at my house, because I need to focus on putting my energy into my business versus putting my energy into hosting family members. I'm not saying don't take care of your family in times of push, but I'm saying knowing what your capacity is, knowing what you're able to do in that season will benefit you long term when we really dig into what are we able to handle in this time and place. Which leads me into checking our commitments. So and I encourage you actually to do this with calendars. On my website, I have a monthly calendar spread that I like to just print out, and then I can doodle on it. I'm not like on my official family wall calendar going, okay, well, if I do a launch here and I have this here and participate in this summit here, I like to doodle, and I like to have paper in front of me because it's a good visual to say, okay, these are the things that are going on. Is it wise to sign my son up for swim lessons at the same time that I'm trying to handle a bunch of things for my clients? Or I have a bunch of things that I'm making. You know, my sister is a star seller on Etsy, and we have to be very diligent. I, as her business manager or social media person, have to be very diligent when it comes to when we're promoting things or when we are making plans, because I don't want to overwhelm her. She's got so much that she has to make, and she gets multiple orders a week. So I don't want to add to that from a perspective of when we as a family decide to visit them, or whether when we're taking a vacation to go run a race. Those are things that we're just very cognizant of, is what commitments is she making? And then how do we move business around life and life around business? It's important when we think about our commitments, what we have capacity for, and really just praying and asking God, like, is this a wise decision? Is this something that we should move forward with? Because He knows the future. He knows what we can handle right now, and He knows what we can handle in the future. So as we are moving forward with commitments, as we're moving forward with plans, seeking the Lord for His wisdom is always going to be the best thing to do. If you are in a place where you're like at a crossroads, right? And you're like, okay, I could go right or left. Seeking the Lord for His wisdom is the number one thing that you can do. Yes, you can talk to coaches. Yes, you can talk to your people, But seeking the Lord first for his wisdom, in James it says if we ask for wisdom, the Lord gives wisdom. So ask him for that, see what he says, seek godly counsel, and then move forward. Even with the tiny commitments, it's wise to ask him for that, because there are times when I've wanted to do something and I just don't feel like it's a right thing to do. And then we get to that point, or that after that point, and I'm like, oh yeah, like that I was supposed to be gone and this life event happened. And I'm really glad that I didn't go. So things like that, where it's just so prudent to look at what the Lord has for you and say, okay, God, like open hands, what do I do in this situation? The next thing I have for you is to examine your heart and mind and ask, where am I at? This is a question that goes for all the different areas of your life, checking in with God. And I've said this before, seeing where he is at in your life. Are you using God as a convenience? Are you walking with him daily? Is your heart resentful because of anything? Is your mind focused on things that are of him or things of this world? Are you focused on the world standards for success? Or are you focusing on what God has for you as success? These are questions that I really want you to think about. Where is your heart and where is your mind? If you are going to stay solid in this world, anchored on Christ, your heart and your mind have to be in the right place. So really examine that. Maybe take some time to journal, time to ask God what he has for you, and if you're in the right place. And I want to encourage you that you are here for this time and for this place. You were created for this life that he's given you. Ephesians 2:10 says that you're created for the good works set before you. And I firmly believe that everybody that's living here, living now, listening to the sound of my voice, is here for a purpose and a plan. That God has given you the dreams and desires of your heart. We read in Proverbs that if we seek the Lord and we trust him, that he will make our plans, or his plans, our plans. So this is Proverbs 3. It says, "My son, do not forget my teachings, and let your heart keep my commandments. For length of days and years of life and peace they will add to you. Let not steadfast love and faithfulness forsake you. Bind them around your neck, write them on the tablet of your heart, so you will find favor and good success in the sight of God and man. Trust in the Lord with all your heart, and do not lean on your own understanding. In all your ways acknowledge him, and he will make your paths straight. Be not wise in your own eyes. Fear the Lord and turn away from evil. It will be healing to your flesh and refreshment to your bones." Now, with Proverbs, we know that they are general sayings. It's not something where you can say, well, God, you told me in Proverbs that this, and this is going to happen. Unfortunately, or fortunately, that's not how it always goes. But we do know that those are general sayings for wisdom. And that's really what Proverbs is about. It's the guy speaking to his son and saying, this is what you should do. So trust in the Lord. Know that he has you here for a purpose. Be consistent in what you're doing and following through with the plans that God has given you. Walking in his ways and seeking his wisdom and guidance. No matter what your season of life is, when we seek the Lord, we will find him. And that has been extremely evident in my own life. every single time. So that is your mid-year check, things that I would love for you to think through. I'm always here if you need advice or help, coaching. I have my group coaching that happens every week, and I would love for you to join. I'm available on Instagram at Danielle_M_Roberts, or my email dmr@daniellemroberts.com. I can get you more information about group coaching, and I would love to have you with that if that's something that sounds interesting. But yeah, I really hope that the rest of your year is blessed and that you walk into it knowing that you're here for a purpose. God has created you for this, and that you are loved and cared for by a Savior who gave his life for you as a sacrifice on your behalf. And he offers grace and mercy to you, no matter what you've done or who you are. He is wanting you to take that step with him. So have a great rest of your day and a great rest of your year. Bye, guys.